Hey guys, it's Anna from Astraladytarot in Amsterdam. When I filmed the video the other day with these 3 decks, I thought, wouldn't it be nice to show a little more cards from these decks and compare them? The best way to compare them, of course, apart from the major arcana, which we did in the last video, is through the quartz. So here we are. We're starting off with the queens, and we can see some similarities. The Queen of Wands is, of course, the watery part of fire. The similarities are very strong here. They have this leopard, and then funnily enough, in the Rider Waite Smith, that leopard became another feline animal. It became the black cat, which we all love so much, so dearly. But you can see in her throne, there are definitely bigger cats. Here there are more similarities I find in these 2 decks. This is the Golden Dawn Tarot, by the way. This is the Thoth, a green edition, in case you were wondering about the weird coloration, but I love it. And this is the Rider Waite Smith, the Centennial edition. Yeah, I'm really enjoying working with the Thoth and the Rider Waite Smith, which is one of my go-to decks. Thoth I'm still learning, but it's really interesting. I'm really getting into it, as you may notice. The Golden Dawn Tarot is a great reference, but I actually never really worked with it. And yeah, it's going to a new home, so I'm happy about that. I hope it will get plenty of use. I'm sure there are some similarities that I will miss throughout the deck, throughout these court cards, but you can point them out to me if you want. The beautiful Queen of Swords. All right, these 2 are a little bit more similar, aren't they? I mean, at first glance, with the clouds. And all of the swords in this deck are beautiful purple, and I really like seeing purple in tarot decks. It's a color you don't often see, but they do both have that severed head, which is just badass. In these 2 decks, the Thoth, they also have that head of a child. And actually, only here is the added symbolism of butterflies and bird. Because here it's really just these wings on her chest, the watery part of air. Actually, also, I believe this queen has gray hair. So, yeah. Or is it supposed to be black? No, I think it's supposed to be gray. An older woman. Beautiful Queen of Cups. All right, so this is all very different, right? This is so orange. This is very blue, but extra green because it's a greenie. And here also the blue. The watery part of water. So right off the bat, we see the pelican, the bird, the lotus, and then the cup, or in this case, the shell, with the crayfish in it. See that? This little thing? The crayfish. She's very mysterious in the Thoth, right? So in the Golden Dawn and Rider Waite Smith, she is sitting on a throne. None of that symbolism of the lotus and the bird is in the Rider Waite Smith, but we do see here this part of her throne is a shell. And then again, the little children, and this child is actually holding a fish. And these little ones up there, I think also this one actually, are mermaids. They are half human, half fish. But all on the edge of the water. The last queen. Queen of Pentacles or Queen of Discs. So the first thing that strikes is, of course, the colors. This is all green and brown. And this is, yeah, green and brown, but there's also some added colors with the yellow and the reddish tint of her dress. There's that goat symbolism in each card. Again, in these two decks, we see an actual animal or an actual object, but in this case, animal. And here it's in her throne. So Rider Waite Smith is a little bit more hidden, I guess, in the quartz, right? They are all holding an orb shape. This, of course, is the pentacle that we see in every card. In the Thoth, they really surely liked to draw every suit differently, which is very interesting. This is all that sacred geometry in there. And then here she's holding that, I always forget what that's called, but it's a feminine symbol, at least. It's a receptive symbol. And then this up here would be, I guess, the scepter, which is a little bit more of a masculine symbol normally. But in this case, both of these queens, you can see very clearly, hopefully, that on top of their scepters is the cube, which actually has the element of earth. There's, of course, in the Rider Waite Smith and the Thoth, a lot of greenery, which is beautiful. Maybe even the path. In the Golden Dawn Tarot, it's full of symbolism, that's for sure, but they are a little bit more flat, as in we don't really get to see a background, an intricate background. So it's really more focused on the person itself. I love this Thoth queen, but it's hard to tell which one I prefer. It's hard to say which one I prefer. Perhaps like this. Yes, okay, we got rid of the glare. Great. So as you can see, I'm going to try to not get into the discussion of in the Thoth, if the knight is a knight, or a knight is a king, or a knight is a prince, or a prince is a king, and all of that crazy stuff. I actually addressed that in another older video, which I will try to link below. But we are comparing imagery at this very moment. So it makes sense in this particular case to look at all the guys on horses. Okay? So here we have the knights and, in this case, king, which is extra confusing because in this deck we have kings and princes. In this deck we have knights and princes. And in this deck we have knights and kings. Love it. Love it when they make it so easy. Anyway, we have in the Golden Dawn and the Thoth a clear black horse. They are all very active, which I love. They all have the flames because, look at that. This little rooster. I always see it as a rooster, right? With the red part of the rooster. And in Dutch we have an expression called Haantje de Voorste. It absolutely fits into this card, into the meaning of the card. But they sure do look like flames, right? And actually this wand looks a lot like coral to me. I really feel that the Thoth did a great job at making each and every card extremely cosmic feeling. So I actually believe that also in the Golden Dawn Tarot, all of these cards can be considered the fiery part of fire. The knights, and then in the Golden Dawn case, the king, but all again on horses. So the Thoth and the Rider Waite Smith are very similar. The Thoth one is so special. Has these wings like a helicopter and is diving deep. And here it's in full attack. And I guess here with a little bit of imagination as well, you could see that. But we have lighter horses on this side and darker horse on that side. They are all holding their sword, though. I believe also that these two symbols on his chest are birds. Knight of Cups, fiery part of water. All right, we're maybe starting to see it in the coloration here. Fire part of water. That's what I made out of it anyway. This is a nice one. I really like it. It's very blue and white, like this one. They correspond in coloration. Here we have the fish and then also the messenger symbolism with the wings, and all of these knights also have wings. Then there is something where these two cards correspond more closely, is that of course within their cup is the crab, right? And then here is the peacock that you can see over here. Isn't that beautiful? Both of these knights have wings on their helmet. But I'm just checking. Actually, all of the knights in this deck have wings on their helmets. Or actually, I should say kings, right? In this case. Yeah. Not all of them have wings, though, as you can see. He likes his cape. And then here, of course, in the Rider Waite Smith, they do all have something on their helmet, but not all wings. It's quite different. Okay, let's keep going with the last knight, the Knight of Pentacles or the Knight of Discs, which is the fiery part of earth. Oh, and did I say this is of course the fiery part of water? Okay, so I really love these cards. They all kind of correspond in color. They mostly have green and brown, but then I really like this. Look, we all know this, right? This is the deer that's on top of his helmet. And look right there, the little deer. There's no deer in the Knight of Pentacles of the Rider Waite Smith, but there is a very clear resemblance. This is all about that, by lack of a better term, agriculture. You know what I mean? The growth of the land. There's another deer right here with wings. Let's move on. All right, here we are with the kings and the princes. So you see, it was quite obvious when we go off of the imagery that the knights or king in this deck are all on a horse, and here they are all seated in either a chariot or on a throne. Okay, so we have clear lion symbolism, real lions pulling the chariot, but then here again in the throne. And these are the airy part of fire. Here we go, the airy part of air with the purple again. They are all quite different, but going through the clouds, you can see cloud symbolism. And then also there is that, what was it again? Oh yeah, this curved knife, a bowline or something. I'm not sure how to say that in English, but you can see that here they're holding that, and up here, of course, in the throne. King of Cups or Prince of Cups, airy part of water. This is beautiful, isn't it? We of course have the water in every card, but then here there's a lot of similarities. This is with the beautiful hawk in front, and then there's that flower and the cup with the serpent coming out of it. Now, I believe that this scepter looking thing is actually supposed to be this flower. It's pretty nice. Can actually feel the movement and even hear the waves or the steam in each card. The wind blowing with all of that movement. King or Prince of Discs or Pentacles. Am I making things more difficult? This is the airy part of Earth. And in all of these cases, he is holding that scepter. In all cases, there is that bull symbolism. As with every other card so far, we are seeing a pattern of being actually there, and here the symbolism is in the throne. You can also see here with all of that abundance from the earth, that's here in the background and here with all of those flowers. All right, next one. The pages or princesses, which in themselves are element of earth, and here we have the earthy part of fire. So a lot of the same colors in these two decks. This is very separate, isn't it? Feels very different. Here I really do like the similarities that they all of the princesses, they are close to an altar. And here we can actually see the tiger, and here she has this really funky tiger print. Plus, of course, the kick-ass belt with the tiger on it. Also, the ram's heads we can see in both of these altars. The earthy part of air. Here we see the altars again. Yeah, of course, in the clouds, lots of dusts. Not a lot of similarities. Earthy part of water. All right, we all have a cup or a shell, at least a receptive object with something coming out of it. In the Golden Dawn, there's also that dolphin, and great, the lotus is in every deck, also in the Rider Waite Smith in the dress. And then that beautiful bird, which you can see here above her head and here in her wrestling belt. Honestly, these princesses, they all look like wrestlers. See, now to me, this page, he's standing near the water, of course, near on the shore. She is kind of like floating above the water, and she is in the water. All right, very last one. Earthy part of earth. Especially Golden Dawn and Rider Waite Smith have the emphasis on the earth, that there are flowers growing and the fields. Then there are trees in the background, actually quite literally even on the same side, as you can see here and here. And she, this Princess of Discs of the Thoth deck, is near the woods or in the woods, or, well, the cosmic woods anyway, but near an altar. And actually, where's your altar? Where's your altar? I thought they all had altars, but actually only the active elements, apparently. And the receptive ones in the Golden Dawn figured no altar needed. But I really like this disc that they are holding. This, of course, is the pentacle that we all know. Then here they agree on the ram's head. And now you see she's holding a circle or a globe, but our Thoth Princess of Disc has an octahedron. Mountains in the background on every card. You have to look for it a little bit, but there it is. Yeah, so what do you think? Which one of these do you prefer? Let's take a look at the backs. I mean, this is not an original back. It's never been actually a back. The Rider Waite Smith never had a back that really gave extra symbolism in itself, I believe. I think that's right. But then we have, of course, the Thoth and this Golden Dawn Tarot deck, which is packed with symbolism. So we can end up with those, looking at the beautiful backs. So this may have been a bit of a strange video, just comparing imagery, but I find it interesting, and so I figured you probably agree. Let me know which one you prefer, if you have a preference at all. I know that I will edit in some astrological signs in the video, although there isn't really a lot of space, and I think I will just do the most simple thing that I can think of. So it will be a correspondence, and I hope it will be helpful, but it will definitely not be the whole story, if you know what I mean. Nonetheless, I hope it will be helpful anyway, and I will see you the next time.